Now we'll talk about the kidneys. And there's so much that can be done with the kidneys. I'm just going to go over a few areas of the kidneys. And basically, that is the kidney's job to control the bones, to control the marrow, which is not quite like Western concept of marrow. It includes the spinal cord, the brain, and bone marrow itself. So it's a little bit different view, but I'm not going to go into all that. The kidney is pretty much the backup organ for everything else. It's like the end-all be-all. It's called the root of life in Chinese medicine, and is virtually plugged into everything. And so if one system goes down or gets weak, it's the job of the kidney to kind of pull the weight. And so therefore, it's kind of like an old joke. If you ever go to an acupuncturist, they always tell you you have bad kidneys or you have weak kidneys. The mental aspects of the kidney are basically willpower, because the kidneys store the willpower. And so if you have somebody with strong kidneys, they will work long, purposely, for many hours without rest. Whereas somebody who doesn't have strong kidneys will have a tendency to become very lazy and not want to work. And so the willpower plays a big portion in the mental factor of the kidney. The emotional aspects of the kidney are basically fear, terror, horror, panic, etc. Anything that would have to do with that type of emotion is usually a kidney problem. That is the emotions that the kidneys store. Also, I think it's important to note that the kidneys control short-term memory. And so a lot of people who have been diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, you start to see the beginning stages of it. Treatment of the kidney with the methods that we use can help that and sometimes reverse it completely. Now we're going to cover the earth elements, which would be stomach and spleen. Stomach will be the yang organ. Spleen is the yin organ. And the stomach, what we'll start with, the stomach is in control of ripening and rotting. And so food comes into the stomach and then is broken down and then separated into clean and then unclean or impure parts, and then passed to the small intestine. The mental and emotional aspects of the stomach could be mania or hypomania, confusion, severe anxiety, and hyperactivity. The spleen is the yin organ of the earth pair. The spleen shows itself in the lips. You may see dry or cracked lips, a greenish tint around the mouth, or even lines around this area of the mouth, and that indicates some type of spleen problem. Also, sometimes closing of the throat or inability to swallow will be directly connected to the spleen. The spleen also is in charge of the arms and legs and powers the arms and legs. And so someone who has a weak spleen will be tired a lot and have a tendency to want to lie down and rest, even though they haven't done anything in particular to justify wanting to lay down and rest all the time. Mentally, the spleen is in charge of analytical thoughts and ideas. Emotionally, the spleen is responsible for positive aspect-wise, trust, honesty, and those types of feelings. Negatively, the spleen is linked to obsession and obsessing over nothing in particular. Just it doesn't matter. They may not even understand why they're obsessed with it. They just are constantly driven to do whatever it is that they're doing. Now we'll go over the fire elements, or half of the fire elements. We're going to start with heart and small intestine.